Yo, what's up guys? Coach Jonathan here. Real quick, I wanted to go over a video on how to implement progressive overload, not only so you know how to pick the right weights for yourself, but also know some of the tactics going into your programming for your specific workouts. So I wanted to get into it, and as you see on the screen, there are 6 different ways to kind of go about progressive overload, right? So first one is increasing the load or the weight. I'll put weight next to it just so you can visualize it. So increasing the weight. Number 2 is going to be increasing your sets. So going from 3 sets to 4 sets with the same weight, same reps. The other ones are going to be changing your rest times, changing your tempo, supersets, and drop sets. Everyone's favorites are supersets and drop sets. So those are the 6 main variables that you can change to constantly implement progressive overload. And the reason that progressive overload is important is because if you're lifting the same thing for the same reps, the same sets, the same rest times, all that stuff, over and over and over again, you're not going to be stimulating those muscles enough for growth. And if by stimulating those muscles, you're not only going to be burning more calories, you're going to be leading to more muscle growth, you're going to be leading to more strength, which will just continue the cycle, leading to more weight loss, more muscle growth, which will lead to more of a toning effect, and just overall better results. And you'll be feeling better in the gym and having fun with it too, because you'll be pushing yourself. So progressive overload is something that is very, very important to implement over time. And we help you with this by programming it in accordingly. But I want to kind of give the background on how you should pick weights and other things like that. So I wanted to give a few examples. And as you can see on here, I've already wrote a few things out, but I want to kind of walk you through them step by step. So for the first one, for bench press, say week 1, it is 3 by 8 to 10. So 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, right? That's going to be where you're starting out, and say you hit 135. So you have 1 plate on there for your first week. Then you go into the next week, and that same exercise is on there. Another thing, just a little side note, the reason that every workout kind of builds on each other and you don't have like completely new exercises every single time is because you need to implement progressive overload instead of just doing random things. So that's why you'll see similar exercises on a workout to workout basis, and they'll slowly phase in, or we'll slowly phase in new ones. It's because of that. You need to be able to stick with one thing for a few weeks at a time to really build the strength up to then go on to another thing. But so say bench press, 135 for 3 sets of 8 to 10 that first week. That's what you did. So then say the next week we have on there 3 by 10 to 12. The goal in our head would be that you want to hit 135 again, but this time for 10 to 12. So you're increasing the amount of reps that you got that second week with the same weight that you hit that first week. That is a direct progressive overload example right there. But then going further, so you got 135 those first 2 weeks. Then week 3, we have on there 3 by 8 to 10 again, which is, as you can see, it's the same thing as on week 1. The idea would not be to go backwards to 135. You'd want to go up to something like 140 or 145. Add a little bit on there. So see, you're getting stronger right there. And the goal is that you're going from 10 to 12 at 135 to 8 to 10 at 140 to 145. You're going to be getting stronger. And then that period, that cycle can kind of continue. But then another example of progressive overload in the bench press example would be you're doing 3 sets, 8 to 10, week 3. Then going into week 4, you're going to be doing 4 sets of 8 to 10. Now that does not mean you have to increase the weight. You want to stick at the same range. If you're able to go up, that's awesome. And a lot of times in the beginning, that is a totally doable thing. But if you're sticking to the same range, you're still implementing progressive overload right there because you are increasing the amount of total sets that you did. So just a reminder, right there, those are examples of increasing load and increasing sets. So another example when it comes to squats, same concept applies. So say week 1, you're doing 3 sets of 15 on squats. And this is not what a workout would look like necessarily, but just to give good examples on this. 3 sets of 15, you're doing 135 pounds again. So week 2, 3 sets of 10 to 12. And the idea wouldn't be that you want to go backwards or you want to do the same weight because you're doing less reps right here, as you can see. So you'd want to go up. So say you go up to 145 because squats is usually something you can add on weight pretty quick in the beginning. So you go up to 145. For 3 sets of 10 to 12. And then the next week, you see we're increasing sets, but we're also increasing the weight on here. Or we're decreasing the sets on here. My bad. So what you'd want to do in this instance is at the bare minimum, you'd want to hit 145. But ideally, since we're decreasing the amount of total reps you need to do, you would, in a perfect world, go up to say something like 150 to 155. And then as you can see, week 4 right here, we're doing 4 sets, 8 to 10, which is the same thing as week 3, but we put a note on there for slow tempo. So you want to go slow on the eccentric and then explode back up. That is another form of progressive overload. So in this instance, if you stick with the same weight as what you did week 3, but you focus on the timing of the rep, that will count as progressive overload, and you're moving in the right direction and you're breaking those muscle fibers down accordingly in a good way. So another example, last one on here, is lateral raises. Say week 1, we do 3 sets, 15. You do it at 10 pounds. You're never really able to go super duper heavy on lateral raises, and you shouldn't be. But 3 sets of 15, and then the next week you're doing 3 sets of 10, but we add in front raises with these, okay? That's a good combo right there. So we add front raises for another 3 sets of 10. So in this instance, that is progressive overload in the form of supersets. So you could stick with the same weight for both of these, and that is just stimulating those muscles a little bit more. So that's an example of a superset. And then going even further, we go into week 3, and we do 3 sets of 10 with a drop set on each one. So my bad for the bad handwriting right there. But you're sticking with 10 pounds. But instead of doing 3 sets of 10 directly, you're doing 3 sets of 10 and you're dropping to 50% the weight. Then you're doing a set of 5 with that drop set. So that's an example of the drop sets right here. Another way that we implement progressive overload that I have not really gone over in this. So we've gone over tempo, supersets, drop sets, weight, and increasing sets. Another way that we go about it is in the form of rest times. So say this week on lateral raises, you're getting 60-second rests. And then this week, say we were to keep the same thing, we're going to keep it at 3 by 15, but we move it down to 45-second rests. That is also technically a way to implement progressive overload. So hopefully that's all making sense. If you ever have any questions on how to go about weight selection for those, just let us know. But those are the main ways that we incorporate progressive overload with each and every single one of you. And then going into the final thing I want to talk about in this video is how hard should you push yourself? Should you push yourself all the way to failure? Should you have 5 reps left in the tank after each set? Should you have 1 to 2 reps left in the tank after each set? And the answer is going to be 1 to 2 reps in the tank. So if you have 1 to 2 reps in the tank, you're pushing yourself hard, you're near failure, but you're not quite reaching it, and that's exactly where you want to be. If you hit failure all the time, your central nervous system is going to be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Another thing that happens if you hit failure every single time is you are going to lose your form, and with that, you get injured. Sorry, I don't know why I just forgot how to spell, but you're going to lose your form and you're going to get injured. And then by also burning out your central nervous system, by hitting failure in a bunch of sets in a workout, you're going to lead to kind of injury in the sense of you're going to burn out really quick. You're not going to have the same energy in the gym. You're going to be sore all the time. It's just not a good combo. When you have 5 reps left in the tank, so say you do a set of 3 by 15, and you're like, man, I could have gone to 20, but I'm just stopping right here because it said 3 by 15. You need to increase that weight because that is way too easy, and you're not really pushing yourself at that point. You're not getting your heart rate up, you're not stimulating those muscles, and you're not going to see the progress you want. However, on the flip side, or on the other side, if you have 1 to 2 reps left in the tank, that is exactly where you want to be. That's where you know that is a good weight to pick. And once that weight becomes easier, or if you do a set and you're like, usually I have 1 to 2 reps in the tank right here with 135, but this time it felt like I had 4 or 5. What you want to do is increase the weight. So if you have 1 to 2 reps in the tank, that is a good thing to see, and you have picked the right weight. You can always reach out to Meg and myself if you have questions on if you're hitting the right weight. Well, we'll ask you kind of how it felt, but you want to definitely make sure you're pushing yourself, but not to the point of failure on every single set. So hopefully this clarifies things. It helps understand progressive overload and why it's important and how we implement it ourselves. If you ever have any questions or need help with weight selection, just let us know, and I will talk to you guys later.